Hello world, Stephen Michael Zach here, and today we're taking a look at the Sutefoto T15. Now this will cost you about $39.99 on Amazon. Now, full disclosure, Sutefoto did send this out for me to review, but these reviews are, of course, my honest and brutal reviews as always. So, jumping right into it, let's take a look at what it comes with. Now first off, you are going to get the light here, you're going to get a shoe, you're going to get a USB to USB-C, and you're going to get a set of instructions. Now let's take a look at the light. Now you do get your RGB here, which is very nice. Now one thing I will say is this is all plastic, so do not drop this. That is kind of one of the cons, that it's very plasticky. Now you do get a quarter 20 on the bottom and on the side. There is lots of ventilation. On the side you get your USB-C, and you get a hard on-off button, which I am all for. Now let's go ahead and flip this on, and you do get these clicky buttons. They're very small. They're fine. They're not the most they're not the most fanciest buttons. If you are wearing gloves and it's cold, you may have a hard time pressing these, so that is another con. But let's go ahead and jump in and let me show you the light quality and the menu. Okay, so here we are in the menu section, and this goes from 100% and all the way down, and it is very, very slow, all the way down to 0%. So you have to hold it for a while, and then it'll start jumping, and then it looks like it jumps in integers of 10. So there you go. And then you press the set button here to go to the next, and this goes all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin, all the way down to 2,800 Kelvin. And of course, you do get a little battery indicator there as well. And the other thing that I like about this is you do get a plus minus green. Let's go down to 5,600 Kelvin. And you can press the set button again, and let's take a look at we will take a look at the light quality and how the plus minus green works. But you can go down to the plus minus green, and I believe you can go up to about 10, and up to plus 10 and negative 10 on this. And it does seem to actually work. You do seem to get quite green, and you do seem to get quite magenta, which is very, 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 very nice. So there you go. Pressing the M button, which is your menu button, you do go to your HSI, so you have 100% here. And again, this works by pressing the set button to move to your saturation or your hue. Now again, to move through the hue, you do have to hold it down for a bit, and then it starts going in integers of 10. So it is fairly quick, not the fastest I've ever seen, but it is fairly quick right there. Pressing the menu button again, yes, you get controls of your reds, your greens, your blues, your colors, and your whites, and I always love that. I always appreciate that. I think that's great. Pressing the menu again, you do go into special effects, and we will check that out. You get your fireworks here. And again, you can control the brightness, and again, you do get multiple frequencies up to 10. You get, let's go ahead back into the special effects here, and let's go ahead and hit this, go back into fireworks. Let's go ahead and hit the plus button. You get your faulty bulb, which works very well. You get your TV, which also works very well. RGB circle, paparazzi, lightning, your police, your fire, your ambulance, your fire, and then back to fireworks and faulty bulbs. So you do get quite a bit of control. So that's pretty much it. Those are the functions. Now let's take a look at a real world test, and let's also take a look at the phone app. Okay, so here we are at 100%, and we are at 5,600 Kelvin here. And my camera is set in tint 19, 4800 Kelvin, 400 ISO, 4.5, 24 frames. And this is about arm's length away at 100%, which is very cool. Let's go down to about 50% there, which again, still works very well. Can even be a very cool, go up to 100%, and it could be a very cool hair light for a very, or put it above for a very dramatic effect. And so this is 100%. This is about 50%, And let's go down to about, this is about 10% right here, to give you an idea. So this is the 10,000 Kelvin. This is the 2,800 Kelvin. And we'll go to, let's go to 3,200 Kelvin here. And this does go up in, there's 3,200 Kelvin. And this does go up in increments of 10. And let's go to about 4,400 Kelvin. And I like hitting the plus buttons. That seems to work a little bit better. So there is your 4,400 Kelvin. And there is your 5,600 Kelvin right there. 5,600 Kelvin. And so on and so forth. So there you go. Very, very, very nice. It works very, very well. And now let's take a look at the plus minus green because this really does work. It looks like it activates the RGBs for correction and it gets pretty green there. But it does look like the RGB is the plus minus green is handled by the RGB lights inside, which is interesting. But it does actually do something. Now let's take a look at the HSI, and as you can see, the HSI. Let's go to 240, which is solidly blue. And this looks pretty good. It does have a little bit of a washed out feeling. Now, I really wish that I could add the green and magenta plus minus green, but you can't in this mode, which is typical of a light like this. Now we'll go into the RGB. You've got your reds, your greens, your blues, your less warm is what they call it, and your more warm. So there you go. Now let's go into special effects. Here we are. This is lightning, and you have an intensity level here, 100%, and of course you get frequency 10 through 1, and you can go ahead and adjust that how you like. Then you get your, of course, police car, which will jack all the way up here. And of course, you can control the frequency as well. You get your fire truck, your ambulance. You get fire. And fire is just okay. It seems a little flickery. Let's go ahead and put it off camera to make it look like there's a fire. And you be the judge of how that works. I guess it works fairly well. It's decent for a little pocket light. Then, of course, you get fireworks. Now, one thing I don't understand here is fireworks just, the light just keeps turning on. It's not like it's accessing the gels, which is kind of strange. It's just kind of accessing the CCT, the tungsten, and the daylight lights. There's no RGB, which you would think, so you're going to have to gel this. So the fireworks is a little bit interesting, is a little bit puzzling. And let's go ahead with faulty bulb. And you've got your faulty bulb, which actually works fairly well. And let's go TV, which also works fairly well. I will give it that. I do like the TV setting. Let's go ahead and bring it down to 1 so it works a little faster. And that seems to work okay. Of course, you've got your RGB circle. You've got your paparazzi here. And that's pretty much it. So those are your special effects. Okay, so the Sutefoto T15 is a very interesting budget pocket light. Now, let's talk about the cons. Now, first off, this thing is plastic. Do not drop it. It will probably crack. One thing I did notice too is that when it's on it does get fairly hot. Now there is a lot of cooling. I didn't test this for time, but there is, unfortunately, because unfortunately I have other things going on and I don't have time to actually do a time test of how long the battery runs. I'll put it somewhere down here or up here. And yeah, so it is plastic, don't drop it. It gets fairly warm to the touch after being on for a couple of minutes. The screen, although great, is very, very, very small and a little hard to read if you're a little hard of seeing as I am. So, but you can use the phone app. And these buttons are not the most premium buttons I've ever seen. And also, if you're wearing gloves, you have big fingers, it may be hard to press these down because they are sort of indented in here. So it is a little bit difficult to press down. The other thing is in the fireworks special effect, all it does is flash the tungsten and daylight LEDs. For some reason, it doesn't access the HSI and access different colors, which you would need for fireworks. So that's a little interesting. And the special effects, some of them work very, very well. They are completely usable, and there are just a few that I would just skip. But all in all, it works fairly well. Now, one thing that I think I wish was included when you're in your HSI mode or when you're in another mode, I wish you still had control of your plus minus green. But for a budget light like this, I understand why it's not in there. Now let's talk about the good. Now first off, you get 2 great points of contact. You get a fantastic phone app, which not only finds this thing right away, super quick, but it is very, very easy to use. It's no frills, but it works fantastically well. This does have some really nice usable special effects, which is always great. And you get control of your reds, your greens, your blues, and your colors. Always awesome. You do get your HSI. When you hold the button down for a while, it starts to go in integers of 10, which is great. So it's not slow at all. And the color seems fairly good, and you do get a plus minus green. It does access the red and the green RGB to kind of mix everything. So all in all, not too bad. Again, screen is a little bit too small, but it is super bright, and I love when you give me a bright screen that I can see from every angle. So good job, Sutefoto. And that's pretty much it. Now, who is this for? If you're doing interviews, if you're running gun, even if you're doing product reviews, or you're doing YouTube and you need a backlight, this is pretty decent. This is something you definitely throw in your case. Unfortunately, it does not come with a case, and that again is a con because I can see this getting very scratched up. So you might want to find a little case to throw this in or a little bag. But all in all, a very nice, very lightweight little on-camera light, and I think this will definitely go in the kit as a spare, and I'll definitely find uses for this. It works very, very, very well. So that's it. Those are my thoughts, but I want to know yours. So leave your questions and comments in the notes below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash that bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. And feel free to use the links below, as it helps out the channel. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.